Free. Discover freedom with the Power of Releasing podcast with your host, Lance Crane. Transform your life, one episode at a time.
Hi, welcome to the Release Technique podcast. Our second guest that we have is a longtime releaser, and he's been an amazing facet of the release technique. He actually interviewed Larry Crane, my father, years ago. He has an amazing story. He's been using release technique for well over 20 years, and I really wanted him to join us and tell about how it really changed his life. And it really changed. He was just going over it with me when we were talking about it, and he changed his life in every facet of his life, you know, through relationship, through money, through jobs, and everything else. So I want to introduce and invite our second guest to the podcast through Power Releasing podcast. So I want to invite Raphael, and Rafi goes by, and thank you for joining us. I appreciate you really joining us, and I want to talk a little about some of your experiences with the release technique, and maybe stories you can share with the guests about Larry, and just anything that comes to mind in regards to how the release technique has really changed your life. So thank you for taking the time and talking to us. I appreciate it.
And I've been doing this, you know, it's like 25 years now. And all of the things that you mentioned, perfect health, good career, great relationships, all that stuff is secondary. All that stuff is add-ons, because the primary is imperturbability, self-realization, freedom, whatever you want to call it. Like Lester said, you can't really name it. You can only kind of allude to it. That's got to, all of this other stuff happens supplementary to all of that. All of a sudden, you're this whole. I'm not here to make the dream life better. I'm not here to improve this illusion. It just got better on its own, because I just kept focused on what Lester said to focus on, and what your dad, what Larry said to focus on. So, in a nutshell, that's how that happened. Everything else is consistency, just staying with it. Now, I know that we are infinitely, divinely guided every step of the way. If you just are in sync with that, then it happens easier. And even if you're not, you don't recognize it. But consciously or unconsciously, we're all here serving each other. Everybody's a reflection of each other. Everybody's a reflection of our consciousness. So what you see out there is what's going on in here. And what's going on out there, for me, is pretty heavenly. I mean, sure, some things come up every once in a while, but I look at them and I go, okay, what's that here to teach me? Because everything happens for us, not to us. And I say, okay, what's that here to teach me? You got a program. It pulls it out of my subconscious. All of a sudden it's there. I take a look at it. I bring up whatever needs to be released, and I release it. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. No, I mean, amazing. It was funny because last night I was going through some old YouTube videos, and you actually were interviewing Larry, and that probably had to be maybe 20 years ago. It was one of the first
15,
interviews.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, 15. Okay. Yeah. It was one of the first interviews I think Larry had, and you were able to interview him. So that was great. Maybe you could talk a little about each of those facets of where the release technique helped you. Like you said, perfect health. I mean, what do you think brought you perfect health in using the release technique? Maybe you could talk a little about how it helped you in your health.
Yes, perfect health. Well, you know, we're not our bodies, we're not our minds, we're not thoughts, we're not feelings, we're not concepts, beliefs, program. We're none of that stuff. That just goes on in the ego mind. Okay, what we are is infinite being. So but everything is here is working for us. So the body is a trigger mechanism. So anytime something comes up in my body, a pain, an ache, or something, an upset, whatever, I look at it right away and say, okay, what's it telling me that I got to look at? Then I go looking around, like Lester said, examine your thinking and correct it. Go looking inside to see what this thing is trying to warn me about or tell me about. And I find it, and I release it, and I thank whatever that thing that came up is a pain in my side or whatever, and open up and just let it go, using the 3 wants or resistance, because there's always a ton. Resistance, after a while, becomes your best friend. I mean, it's just insanity. Sure. Okay? And just let it go and and the body is perfect again. Let's just say, if your body's not perfect, make it perfect if you want. Otherwise, don't bother with it at all, because it has nothing to do with what you really are anyway. It's just a projection of your mind. Everything out there is a projection of the mind.
So maybe you could talk a little about. I know you were an actor, right? That was your main profession.
Still am.
Yeah, still an actor.
I mean,
So
at
maybe you
85,
could
there's
talk
not
a
a
little
whole
about
lot of
how
work.
you used it in your career as an actor, and some financial abundance or some gains that you had around that.
Well, I have been on over 100 television shows and films, and I've lost counts of dozens and dozens of commercials. And not only that, plays. The plays are that's my favorite. Live theater is my very favorite, but none of it is anything that I don't really look forward to being involved in. And so, because of this, I've been able to spend my whole life in this dream world, doing what I love, loving what I do, and making a damn good living at it. Okay, am I blessed or what? Okay, I really, I got to say, I had nothing to do with it. I just kept releasing and releasing and releasing, and this stuff, like I get supplement, just keeps showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. Now, at my age, there's not supposed to be any work for people in their mid 80s, but 4 times this year so far, at least in this summer, I've gotten calls from these people who do this stuff on social media, where you go and you improvise 30-second to 3-minute comedy things. They put them up on social media, and they make a fortune from them. But I get to work, and they send me a check, and how very nice that is. But I get to play.
Yeah.
And not supposed to be able to do that anymore.
Right.
But
So
somebody didn't
you
tell me.
contribute the release technique and releasing to get those things.
Yeah,
Maybe you can talk
I
a little
just
about how you applied the release technique to maybe get some major gigs and performances.
okay. I set a goal. I now allow myself to, and then whatever specific thing, be a working actor, for instance, with ease. And then whatever comes up, the attachments and the aversions, let them all go, and then forget about it. And then the phone rings or something shows up on your computer. And the whole thing, we only do this releasing to quiet the mind so we can be revealed to ourselves the truth of what we really are. That's the whole focus of it. That's the only purpose of it. And all the rest of the stuff just happens. Setting goals is a way of getting rid of all of that negativity, all of those unloving feelings, so the mind can quiet. So you can see what is beyond it, which is the reality.
Right.
And that same thing happened. Like the goal I sent you a couple of weeks ago, where I had $15,000 or more. I set that goal. I set that goal, I don't remember how long ago. Released all the stuff about it, and then let it go, and actually forgot about it. Then one day I go to my bank a couple of years later, and I said, "Can I have my statement, my balance, please?" To the lady behind the counter to tell her, and she said, "Yeah." She writes it out, and it's over $15,000.
Amazing.
Well, oh my God, that was that goal I set back. Okay.
And that was the exact amount that you put your goal for, right? 15,000.
Well, it was a little over 15,000, but yes.
Yeah, close to that. And
now it's getting even
goal.
more. It's getting, and it's all the balance and my bank balance in that one account, well, two accounts actually, keep increasing passively. I mean, I love making huge deposits. Who doesn't? But if I can't make a huge deposit, if I get a residual check for $15 or $35 or something, and I go and and I deposit it and I ask for my balance, it's way beyond what? Okay, thank you. Have a nice day. And then the gratitude just pours for me. Gratitude is so powerful. I can't. There's no way to to calculate things like gratitude, acceptance, and peace. Your father always used to say, "Do you want to be in acceptance? Just say acceptance, yes, acceptance, yes, acceptance, yes, acceptance, yes, acceptance," and you're there. then all of a sudden, all of this other stuff comes up: abundance, receptivity, magnanimous, compassion, understanding, kindness, all of this stuff, letting everything be exactly the way it is and know that it's perfect.
So, Raphael, I really appreciate you joining us on this call and sharing all your experience over the release technique and how it's changed your life after the last 25 or maybe plus years. And I want to thank you for joining us. Take your time out of your busy schedule to come down and share it with our viewers here. And anyone that wants to learn more about Release Technique, you can go to releasetechnique.com, which we'll put on the bottom of the link here. And we also are going to give you a coupon code. So we have the flagship product, which was called the Abundance Course, the Release Technique Home Study Course. You could do that over streaming on your computer, your laptop, or your phone anywhere, tablet. And we're going to give you that code. So if you go to releasetechnique.com and you go in and find the Abundance Course, the Release Technique course, the Home Study Course, it sells normally for $199. I'm going to give you a coupon code that you can use, which would be POD97. So it's POD, so all uppercase like a podcast, POD 97, and you can save 50% off, so it'll be $97. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You can go through all the audios to learn the fundamentals of releasing. Also, we have a lot of live classes all the time, so I recommend you go to the releasetechnique.com website and go, and you'll see right at the top it says learning. It says classes, live classes rather, and you can go there and you'll see all the classes that we have scheduled. We have live retreats, we have teleconferences, we have a lot of courses coming up. We have an intro call sometimes that people can join and get experience with us and work with the teachers. So I appreciate it. Again, you could go to releasetechnique.com and go to get started at the top, or you can go to the link below that'll take you there, and you can sign up for the home study course and save 50%. And the coupon code again is POD97. So again, thank you, Raphael, to really show up, and we appreciate you sharing all your amazing stories and experiences that you had in life and going through all that. And I want to thank you so much. We're going to have many more other podcasts coming up and other people on the call, so stay tuned for that. Please hit the like button below and smash that like button and subscribe to get more audios that we're going to have and more podcasts. We're going to have a lot more things. We post things just about every day, anything from Lester Levinson to Larry Crane to a podcast with other people's experience and testimonials. So once again, thank you so much for joining our YouTube channel. Again, smash the like button below and subscribe. And we appreciate all the support from everyone. And again, Raphael, thank you so much for joining us. And we'll talk later, and we'll have another podcast probably posted in the next few weeks. Thank you so much. Bye.